Hello, good afternoon. Let's get Discord in. And this is another one of those coffee chats. Let's get the Discord guys in. Hello, Discord. How you doing, guys? So we've got a couple of Discord. That's Stubbo and Greedy Eyes. And we've got quite a few of you on... Who's that? How you doing, guys?
Oh, hello, Joe.
So we've got a couple of Discord. Sorry about that. The chat went all weird and I had loads of sort of feedback and there was echoes and everything. Hopefully that's gone. So, that's another coffee chat, as I said. And we got a few people in the Discord chat for live streaming. There should be sound now. I just had to sort something out, Amar. So, people on Discord, we got Nikolai. The chat went all weird and I had loads of done it again. Hang on. Feedback and there was echoes and everything. Hopefully that's gone. Right, so I'm still getting echoes. I don't know why I'm getting echoes. Sorry about that. It's really weird. Hopefully you can hear the guys. I can't at the moment. Just trying to sort that out. One moment. People on Discord. Got it's really bizarre.
Discord.
Oh, it's done it again. Hang on.
Discord tends to have better quality than YouTube.
Oh, a lot better.
Right, so I'm still getting echoes. I don't know why I'm getting echoes. But you're getting echoes for some reason. I don't know why there are echoes. Hopefully you can hear the guys. I can't at the moment.
Unless somebody's got their YouTube video playing in the background.
It's really bizarre. That's what I'm thinking, but hopefully not. It's really weird, man.
Oh, holy hell, the echo on your stream is bad.
Yeah, I don't know where the echo is coming from. I have no idea where that echo is coming from, but hopefully that's resolved it. Sorry about that. Yeah, it does. It sounds awful. I'm hoping that's gone. I've put Discord back on, and so everything's back on. Hopefully the echo has disappeared. I don't know how that happened. Utterly bizarre. But we've got a few people in the Discord live chat, so those of you who are on the YouTube who want to jump in and get involved, by all means, please do so. All of you on YouTube, we've got Alba Bushcraft of Alba C, we've got Major Blink, Layla Azor, Amar, Alex de Pascal, who else have we got? Stephen Armstrong, Nikolai, who's also in Discord, Stream Elements, I'm pretty sure that's not a person. So, what are we going to talk about this week? Well, I did say maybe missiles, but no, we've talked about missiles. Missiles have been...
Let's try and beat a dead horse.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. I mean, you're beating a dead donkey. There are videos, everything about missiles has been done. I've done video on it recently. Every known YouTuber has done a video. Don't get me wrong, it gives YouTubers great content, but we don't need to go through missiles again.
Let's wait for 6.8 for that.
Totally agree. I totally agree with. Let's wait until 6.8 comes out, where 6.8 is due to nerf them. We can rediscuss it, re-bring it up then. So what are we going to look at today? Well, there's a couple of things. Another topic that I put out there was seal clubbing. Is it the ultimate sin or just a favourite pastime of a lot of people? And one of the other queries that was put forward both on Discord and on here is ratings battles. What are they all about, etc., etc. So let's deal with seal clubbing first. So recently, Wargaming. Well, let's start at the beginning. Wargaming came out with this idea in 5.5 to nerf the bejesus out of everything in tiers 1 to tier 5. To stop seal clubbing, because there were these chaps apparently out there called seasoned seal clubbers who were going around and pissing everybody off and stopping new guys coming into the game. Now, some people thought it was a good idea, some people thought it was a shit idea. I fell into the latter category. I thought it was a stupid idea because no matter what you do, seal clubbing will always exist. And a lot of stuff was brought out about seal clubbing, it's the ultimate sin, blah, blah, blah. Now, in the store right now, at this moment in time, you can buy, for gold, 2 tanks sat at tier 2. The Tetrak and the Vickers. So, Wargaming, whilst they're trying to discourage you with 5.5 to stop seal clubbing, are now offering you tanks to promote seal clubbing. So, what is it about seal clubbing? Is it really an ultimate sin? Or is it just a bit of fun? I mean, it's a game. And in my book, nobody says once you progress past tier 1, you can never, ever go back to it. So what do you guys think?
Well, for starters, it was quite comical when they decided to, hey, let's remove everything down, remove the variety. Like, people still kept those tanks. I see some people that only play like VK, M, and still only play those tanks for thousands and thousands of battles. Like, the whole point of removing the tanks was just stupid. It just rushed the lower players to get up tier. And to be fair, I do not personally seal club. If you check my stats, I almost do not play anything about under tier 6.
Well, my idea
Like,
of seal
what's the
clubbing is
point?
tier 6 and 7 anyway, but
But there is that. But seriously, I mean, I'm being serious now. What is the point? I mean, personally, I don't have an issue with seal clubbing. If somebody,
I think the main point of it is to get your win rate up.
okay, stop
Your
there.
win rate and your W.
No, let's stop there a minute. If somebody, and I have seen these players, if somebody wants to do all their battles in tier 3 or tier 4, who am I, who are you, who are anybody to say they can't?
absolutely not, indeed.
More damage for us.
It's up to them. It's up to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the whole point of an open game.
absolutely. I mean, if they're happy and content with their 70% win rate after 30,000 games in tier 3, so be it. It has absolutely zero effect on me. It has zero effect on my game and my enjoyment of the game. If that's what gets them off, who are we to tell them they're wrong? Just the same way as, if you play all your games in tier 10, who am I to say that you're an elitist because you only play tier 10? It's just the way it works.
And this was the other consequence of the 5.5, to get those players through those lower tiers into the higher tiers earlier anyway.
Well, exactly. And now, you get people who did cut their skill base in the low tiers and did the 30,000 battles in tier 3, who are now in tier 9, and, we all bemoan them. We say, oh, you've got a crap win rate because it's all done from tier 3. But personally, I'd never had a problem with seal clubbing. When I first started the game, and it is another one for you to ponder. Doesn't matter what tier you're in, guys, you're gonna face seal clubbing. Okay? Take Stubbo. Stubbo, how many games you got now under your bat? About 60 odd thousand?
72,000, I think.
Okay, 72,000 in your 60-something% win rate?
Yeah, 61 something. Yeah.
Okay, so Stubbo's got a 61% win rate after 70 odd thousand battles. Guarantee you this. If Stubbo went into a game with the likes of all of the end game team, all of the Loka team, he'd be seal clubbed. Simple as that. Yeah. I've got 30 odd thousand battles. If I go into a tier 8 game, I get seal clubbed. It's as simple as that. Because there are always going to be better.
Actually, Fugit, for you it's different. Because you're a celebrity, everyone wants you.
Yeah, but
That's not clubbing. That's just hunting.
yeah, that's a half truth.
Crazy fans.
That's a half truth.
What
It's a half truth. I'm not a celebrity, but everybody does want to shoot me down.
Speaking of seal clubbing, the Matilda's in store.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly. But I'm telling you guys, every tier you have the potential to be seal clubbed, because I was in a game. I've been in quite a few games where I've gone into tier 10, and on the opposite team has been a chap called The Honor. Now, if you don't know who The Honor is, The Honor used to be, I don't know if he still is, the best player in Blitz on the EU server. I mean, his stats were just off the charts. And, you know, he's going to seal club me because he's better than me, he's had more games than me, he's more experienced than me, he's more skill leveled than me. But I take that as a challenge. It's a simple fact of life. And when I started the game, I would face guys who had, you know, thousands more battles than me, and I would learn from them. It's simple as that. So I don't understand the big fuss about this seal clubbing nonsense. I do think it's a bit of harmless fun. I think there are 10 tiers in the game for a reason, and nothing prevents you from going back to any of those tiers to play the game. Nothing.
To be fair, even though I dislike the idea of removal of lower tiers, when I heard, because I'm just about 3 years of playing the game, and I heard that, and I'm free to play, so the garage slot at that time was a big problem for me. So when I heard that they're going to remove tags, I just bought extra 5 slots to chucked in as much tags as I could, and then after the update, I just got to double the garage slot.
I think the problem that I always see is people have expectations about how others should play the game, and nobody has a right to have any expectation of how any other player plays this game. They're perfectly entitled to do what they want.
Now, that I totally agree with. And, you know, I've got a video coming out soon, which is called Elitism in Blitz. And it's an interesting video. But the game itself, until 5.5, I'll be honest with you, 5.5 was a little bit weird. The game itself is actually not elitist. Anybody with any skill level can play this game. You can enter all the top tournaments, and if you're good enough and your team's good enough, you can get through to the Twister Cup. This game realistically was never elitist. 5.5 changed that dynamic slightly, whereby it was trying to force people through the tiers. It's not so bad now because 5.5 is settled down. I'm still not a big fan of it. But the game itself is never elitist. We as players, not all of us, but a few players, are elitist, where we focus on win rate and we advocate people for seal clubbing, etc., etc. And seal clubbing becomes a big thing. And I don't understand why. I really don't. If you want a seal club, if you want to sit down in the low tiers and play your little tank, that's totally up to you. If your favourite tank is the DW2, even after it got nerfed to oblivion, who am I to tell you otherwise? It's just not right, I don't think.
That's one of the main issues that I had with 5.5. When I started Blitz back in 2015, 2014, I don't remember exactly what year it was, I go into a battle, I got obliterated by a tank, and I felt like, fuck, I want that tank. That's one of the main reasons why I didn't get my first tier 10 until 2017. I wanted to try every single fucking tank in the low tiers because it kept destroying me.
Well,
Now you have a straight line.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, the only tank I've ever sold is the A32 because it's shit. That's the only tank I've ever sold. And I've still got all my tier 1s and tier 2s and tier 3s, and I still play them. Why do I play them? Because wargaming give me birthdays. I get to win. You know, seal clubbing's not a problem. I don't think it's ever been a problem. I think it was a piss poor excuse. And players have a problem with seal clubbing for whatever reason. I just find it strange because it doesn't affect me, never will affect me. Simple as that.
Players have a problem with players, period. Doesn't matter whether they're seal clubbing or anything else.
Oh, there is that. There is that. There is that. There's always a hang up over win rates and stuff like that, which again I've never understood because
It's always been like that.
But that's us making it elitist, and that's us making it an issue. Nobody else. And I know 40% win rate players who are shit up. Really, really good players. And they're 40% win rate. They're 40-odd% win rate players because when they first started the game, they didn't have a clue what they were doing. And after 15,000 battles, they suddenly learnt to play the game properly. after doing their
Just
grind.
thinking about the same 5,000 games.
Yeah, and then after that, they now know what they're doing and they become good. Then we've got the next one, which is probably an add-on topic that we'll have on this one. Then we have the PC player, okay, and you tend to find that quite a lot of PC players have very good win rates. I know, I shouldn't say that, but it is true. And there is a mix in Blitz of lots of different things. I know some PC players who are if you take that mechanic away of the auto aiming thing, they struggle.
Yeah, I tried about 5 months ago to play on PC. Like, the auto aim is so weird. You click it locks on, like,
Yes, it does.
and it's awful because when it like locks on, you cannot really reposition for some reason.
No, you
It's a lot
can't.
easier to look around and stuff when
Yeah.
you're locked on, and yeah, I mean,
But
I
the
mean,
lock on is and
yeah, I mean,
especially aiming.
yeah, I don't really notice it an awful lot in random battles. You do now and again. I notice it a lot more when you're playing in tournaments. When
Yes.
you're on teams with mobile games and you're playing against teams with PCs. That does show up an awful lot more.
Well, I mean, that is an interesting point, because if you notice in the professional tournaments, you can't use a PC, handheld only. So there is an advantage clearly of being a PC player, because if there wasn't an advantage, then it wouldn't be banned from the main tournament, the Twister tournament, which is only handheld. But that's a different discussion. And at the end of the day, this game, realistically, I don't care who you are. If you want to play in a low tier, that's completely up to you. And who am I to judge you? It's as simple as that. Simple as that. But it does get a bad rap. I don't know why.
Yeah, and no one ever cares unless they're losing.
Can confirm.
That is a good point. That is a good point. If it's like lots of things. It's like somebody wrote. I was on the EU forum the other day, and somebody wrote the MM is so broken, and I said yes, I agree. I can't wait for the day when I'm only put in the winning queue, that my entire teammates are people I know, are on my Discord server at the same time, and we're able to communicate effectively, so I can sit at the back, do bugger all, and let them win the game for me.
That would be nice, but we know that that's not going to happen.
Of course it's
Unless
not. 'Cause they're called random battles for a reason. They're pretty random. To be honest with you. Which brings
Only way
us...
that can be achievable is by flooding the match, make it like 50 people, but
Yeah.
good luck.
Well, that brings us nicely to the next topic, which has been asked by Stephen Armstrong, and it's about ratings. And he's saying, can we explain the point of ratings? Does it affect the MM, etc.? Thanks. Well, a couple of things. Ratings, Stephen, doesn't affect your MM. Doesn't affect your win rate. It is meant to affect the MM, but because not many people play ratings, the MM really struggles. Officially, the ratings battles are meant to be where you're teamed up and your opponents are of equal rating to you. It's almost exactly, you're a 60% win rate player, he's a 60% win rate player, blah blah blah. But it does.
Duke it out.
Yeah.
That doesn't bend.
Well, it doesn't, because not many people unfortunately play ratings, and that's the problem with ratings. It's not really been embraced by the community for whatever reason. And if it was more embraced, if more people played it, then it would be more skill-based MM, to be honest with you, because that's the idea behind it.
Yeah, but really, if the ratings was created to make matchmaking better and more like balanced, but you have problem is what kind of motivations do you have to play it? I find it more fun to play with the randoms because anything can happen, like, and in ratings, like, what's the point? You expect higher player guys, but because of lack of players, you get stuck with the far superior.
Now,
Super easy.
those of you who were in the game
That happens
before,
to be quite
well, those of you who were in the game before you had ratings, we always had in your garage your rating. You had a personal rating, okay? It was like a testament of how well you did. They then brought ratings in, and they removed that, and they said you had to sort of fight it out to get these ratings, you know, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. You didn't really get rewards apart from you got a nice gold, silver, bronze, or platinum, or whatever rating.
Reward.
Over time, they've added rewards. So now you get an avatar for whatever league you're in, and depending,
It's time limited.
yeah, but
But
it
no one
is.
cares about
But you also get reductions on certain things. And you get a camo if you get to the top leagues. You do get a camo, but you get reductions, or you get you don't get reductions. You get more gold or something, or more credit. Sorry, you get more credits if you win.
And experience.
Yeah.
but
So
only like you earn 1,000 and you get extra 100.
yeah, but it's an incentive, and you know that was the idea behind ratings. The idea behind ratings was to make you feel good, was to say, look how good I am. I'm Diamond League, and that was the idea behind it for us to show off as an individual.
Perhaps you should start a replay, Fugit'S.
It's a good point. I should have really.
Kind of forgot about that, I think.
Yeah, I did. And that was the idea behind ratings, to make us, the player, feel good. To be honest, which wasn't a bad idea, because a lot of players are infatuated with their win rates. Now, ratings doesn't affect your win rate at all. It only affects your rating. So the better you do, the more points you get if you win, or you can get points even if you lose.
Then again, you
yeah,
can have
but
idiots in your team which completely destroy your rating.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
no, that's true. But the idea of, and this is the other thing that a lot of players fail to appreciate. It's a team game, guys. And I know the communication's not the best, but it is a team game, and effectively you are meant to communicate as a team.
No communication, remember?
And a lot of people approach, if you watch some of the top Diamond League games, I mean, every good name is taken at the moment is streaming him doing his Diamond League ratings, and you will see, but you will see that those games, there's a lot more communication with the team than there is normally. Wid is just saying rating is not embraced because you have to recalibrate. That I agree with. It's horrible having to recalibrate every single month. Every season. It's stupid, because if you're a Platinum League player and you've worked your way up to be Platinum League, in the next season you should automatically start as Platinum League. It should be that. You shouldn't need to recalibrate every time.
It's all about the rewards, isn't it? Isn't that the whole idea, that if you get to the whatever the top league is, the
Diamond, isn't it? Also,
Diamond, whatever, you get the camo at the end of the season. That's the incentive. I mean, if you look at PC and all of the seasons and things on there, they have tanks and whatever as rewards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought that was what the motivation was behind it. To group players of similar skills, but as you go up higher in the leagues, then the cream rises to the top, and those players get the rewards. But all everyone ever gets out of it is a camo. So
yeah. But the thing is, I mean, I've many a time I've been Platinum League. I think the best I ever did was 4,900, and then all of a sudden I had to recalibrate, and I came in at Silver League. I mean, how do you drop like 2,000 points just like that? I mean, it's annoying, and it really puts people off. He's like, well, why did I bother? And I understand that part about it. I understand where Wid's coming from. And he says the same thing. If you get to the pond life bottom feeding queue, you can calibrate in silver, and it's such a grind, and it is a grind.
Compare lower tier grinds on ratings aren't that bad. The Platinum League is awful. Like, for example, most of the time, every victory I get 20 points, and for every loss, even if I do very good, I lose 30 points. Like,
But the thing, because it's not been embraced that much. I mean, I've gone into platinum battles whereby people are calibrating, and that shouldn't happen. And there have been bronze players, and that shouldn't happen either, because it's meant to be a more balanced MM. So there is an issue with it.
Yeah, that's just due to the lack of players actually.
Totally agree. Totally agree. It is. The MM struggles because of the lack of players.
Because the rewards aren't good enough either.
And the rewards.
That is true. I mean, a camo and an extra 50% gold isn't a reward really, to be honest.
Yeah, only to collect statistics. Like, why?
If they want people to embrace ratings, what they need to do is have, if you get to the top league, there's some sort of tank, or it doesn't have to be a tier 10 or anything like that, just some sort of decent tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just
but
tier
reward
8
tanks.
or tier 7.
Well,
It's not like we have enough reward tanks in Blitz.
you
Or
could
just
have.
PT in general.
Yeah. If you finish the season in Diamond League, you get a trophy or something. And at the end of the year, if you've got 5 trophies,
Give us like a 277.
you get a tank or something.
No, that's
Something
not a bad
really-
idea.
Something you really have to work hard at.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, if you get X amount of trophies, then you should be able to get trade them in for a tank or something.
Yeah.
Or no, in wargaming, if you get X amount of trophies, you can trade them in for a crate, in the vain hope of getting a tank.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or an attachment.
Or an attachment, yeah. But yeah, I mean that's a good idea. That would incentivize people, I would have thought, to sort of embrace ratings a bit more if they've got something to aim for rather than a camo.
But I think you're in danger again of creating that elitist environment that the people that are going to end up in those leagues are going to be the same people season after season after season, aren't they?
Well, there is that as well. I mean, you do bring in that element of elitism, whereby only the best players will get the tank. But if it's a tank that anybody can get, for example, if it's say, I don't know, what's in the store at the moment? Yeah, the IS-2 SH. Then, if you can buy it, you buy it. And if you can't buy it and you get given it for free, no one's going to really care. But if you give people an IS-6 Fearless,
Oh yeah.
that's a little bit different because then that is elitist. But if you're giving somebody a tank that the normal player can buy in any event, then I don't think that becomes elitist. Then it just becomes something that you're given. And if you've already got the tank, you get the gold anyway. So I don't see how that would make it elitist.
The thing is, PC has grown up with the idea that there are the better players who win the tanks, but mobile, we seem to shun that concept from day one. I mean, the M60 was the uproar behind that, but
Absolutely.
what would be wrong in having those exceptional rewards? The trouble is, the die's been cast. And if it started doing it now, it really wouldn't be accepted well by the community. But it's what should have been there really from day one.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, it should have been. Yeah, it should have been. You're right. It should have been there from day one. And you're right. I mean, I got the M60 when it first came out, and boy, did you get a lot of hate. And you did get a lot of hate for various reasons. So that comes with it, and I know people. I personally, I've never actually been in a game with an IS-6 Fearless ever.
I have twice over 12k battles.
Never seen one in the game. By the way, that was Kirito SABTS in Cromwell B getting a lovely mastery. So yeah, I've never actually come across one ever. And I know Meads has got one only because it went in the store. He was happy. He was lucky enough to buy one, but that was about it.
That's because they've all left the game.
Well, there's that as well. They've all left the game. Yeah.
Whatever happened to that
Right.
store?
I know whatever happened to that store. Yeah, it's the same store that the Kenny Otsu came into briefly. but yeah, no, Wid's right. A lot of those players have actually left the game. Funnily enough, for whatever reason. So. But
Because of rockets or something.
I mean, that's the only tank I really know, other than the M60, that Wargaming gave away to certain players, which caused. I mean, the IS-6 didn't cause a stir, but the M60 did.
Did the KPZ did that? Because there was like event top 100 players get it.
Well, the KPZ 70.
Yeah, there was some event.
No, that wasn't a traumatic. I got the KP in that event. I got the 70 in that event.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, it wasn't.
Playing back then, I can't tell.
It wasn't an elitist event. It was difficult. You had to play a lot, but it wasn't. It wasn't this. Only the best 100 got it. I got it in that event. Yeah, I've had it since day one.
It was a case of some would get it for free, others had to pay a bit of gold or whatever.
Yeah.
It's no different to any other event that we've had, to be fair.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. It was a tough tank to get. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't elitist. So hopefully that answers your question, Stephen. It's meant to be a balanced MM. It doesn't affect your win rate, but the community's never really embraced it, unfortunately. So it doesn't work as intended. So what else was there? Because that was the topic that I put down on the agenda, and that was the topic that came out. So any other burning topics that people want to raise at this moment in time that we should discuss?
Matchmaking.
What about matchmaking?
It's still broken.
Teams.
It's not
Yes.
broken.
How's it broken? Here's a question for you. How tell me how matchmaking is broken.
Excuse me, double smasher in tier 6?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Or don't forget Sheridan's.
No. But tell me how it's broken. I'd like to know how you think it's broken.
Because you can get into a single platoon, not even platoon, just random battles and dominate the entire matchmaking.
Yeah.
That's always been there.
SU-152.
Well,
yeah.
Since the day they introduced platooning, that's always been there, which is why they removed it from ratings.
So you're suggesting teams should be crippled to maintain a balanced balanced battles or something? Is that? I mean, where would that end? Or we don't like people roving around in pairs of Sheridans, pairs of T92 E6s or whatever.
No.
But this is the thing.
I make sure that when you get in such a platoon, that you don't get into tier 6 matchmaking, that you're not constantly top tier. Give those players a challenge as well.
Yeah, but I mean, you say constantly. I mean, did you go out in the Smasher Tomb?
Yes.
And you
10
went.
battles. All of them were tier 6.
But maybe that's because, just out of interest. I mean, I don't know. Did your teammate just buy the tank or just get the tank? Or
Nope. He actually bought it first time.
what about your? Is it battle count, win rate? What time of day was it?
I have more battles than he does.
Did he create
His
the
win
team?
rate is higher though.
Yeah. Somebody asked. Did he create the team or did you create the team?
Nope, I did.
Well, it depends.
That's random.
Yeah, it depends on the time of. It depends on a lot of factors. I don't know. Maybe it is random. Maybe they just struggled that particular day. Maybe a lot of people were playing Smashers that particular day.
Well, no, because tier 7 was pretty much all lights and mediums. People were rushing the T49 at the time.
I don't think it's the tanks that are the problem in the teams. It's the fact that like one team will have 45% and less, and then the other team will mainly 50%, and then the teams just
But that's.
vanish from
But
the
that,
system.
but this is. I tried to address this once on the EU forum. Think of it this way: you've got 100 people. Okay, you have no idea what their win rate is. You have no idea what their skill level is. But you've got 100 people, and you throw them all in the middle. And out of that 100 people, you've got a good mix of from tier 1 to tier 10. The matchmaker just looks at the tier, and
Not always.
well, majority of the time, and just picks the first come first served. That's what it's meant to do. We'll never really know its algorithm, but it's meant to just pick the tier and the tank. So if there's everybody in if you've got 14 people all in a Death Star at tier 10, then the matchmaker's going to struggle because you can't have two teams just filled with Death Stars. Simple fact. And this is why sometimes you get that weight. So it doesn't actually look at your win rate, funnily enough. It just picks them based on the tier and the tank. and it allocates it on almost a first come first served basis, is my understanding. So.
Yeah, I don't think it actually even picks on the tank. I think it just prevents a certain number.
Well, when I say the tank, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean the class of tank, not the actual tank, but the class of
You
tank.
can't have more than 3 of one type of tanks. You can't have 4 heavies or 4 lights or 4.
No, exactly.
No, but then you get the kind of situations. I should try to find a screenshot once, but I had a tier 7 matchmaking where we had 2 SU-152s, 2 Smashers, 2 Draculas, and an SP-1C.
Epic.
That was one team.
Yeah, but how often do you see that?
Not
So-
often, but when you do, it just absolutely destroys the matchmaking.
Exactly, but that's the
It
randomness
makes it
of the
fun,
game.
though.
That's why it's random, but that's why it's a random matchmaker, and it really is. I've bemoaned Matchmaker before, and I remember watching Every Good Name Was Taken play exactly 100 battles in the M6 experimental to disprove if Matchmaker was broken or not. And he literally, it's on his YouTube channel, and he had a spreadsheet running at the same time, and he literally counted win rates for everybody, blah blah blah, game battle counts, the works, and he actually found out it was more even than we think.
Like really, I do not understand matchmaking.
Haven't they changed it though now?
Why
or something?
complain?
Pretty sure.
It's fine if you get 2 teams that equal number of heavies, lights, and mediums, but sometimes you little variation. That's not that bad. The players is what makes the things bad.
Yeah, it's confirmation bias again, isn't it? It's the fact that you only ever look when you lose, and generally you're only ever paying attention to those players that have the lower win rates.
Yeah, I mean, going back to your point earlier, Greedy Eyes, where you said about how can 2 Smashers go into tier 6? Well, the only way to combat that is remove platooning, and that would be stupidly, really stupid, because we love platooning. And if you remove platooning for those players, I mean, it's nice going out in a toon. I mean, we do it all the time in my live streams. And if you remove tuning, it becomes a pain in the ass, and it disappoints people. And you're always going to get people going out in 2 Dracs or 2 Smashers. I mean, Wid's on, he's probably gone out with Debbie Does Dallas in 2 Smashers.
Oh, I do it with all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but you're back to this whole concept of seal clubbing again. I mean, if you want to create a platoon of OP tanks, then you go out. I mean, we went out in a pair of T-22s the other day and for quite a while.
That's a good point. Got that video.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I saw you that one on your replay earlier. We've done it in standard Bs, and they're really good tanks. But sometimes,
Absolutely.
if you're in good tanks, you get wrecked, and hey, it happens. Went
So-
out in a couple of badges with someone, and that didn't end well, I can tell you.
But sometimes we take it a bit too serious. I mean, I remember, and a lot of people are going to criticise this, but I remember once we went out in a tournament, and Every does this all the time as well at the moment. They just go out in Hellcats, and we've done it with just a complete tournament team of Steves. You've got to have a little bit of fun as well, guys. It's not all ultra serious. You've got to. There's nothing to stop. There's nothing to stop anybody doing the same. I mean, you're saying there about our platoon of smashers. You're on the obviously the good, beneficial side of that. But I've heard people turn around saying, "Oh, I hate going out in tier 7 because there's 2 Drac platoons all the time." Fine, then find a friend who's got a Drac, and get a Drac platoon going yourself, guys. Nothing stopping you. Not a thing.
Like topic that people do not talk about preferential matchmaking. Why did they decide to remove that concept?
It was doing the +2 -2.
Well, that was a bit weird. What did you say?
That the making pretty much was removed when, +2 -2 disappeared.
Well,
Yeah, there were some tanks that would fall into that, but yeah, they did the right thing getting rid of that. There's no place in the game for having tanks that are guaranteed to be top tier all the time.
I never mind +2 -2, but the teams are too small for +2.
Yeah, it's always the way. I mean, when you bought a new tank, or you ground, or you managed to get a new tank in the tech tree, then you were given preferential treatment for about 10 games. Personally, I'm glad they got rid of that. because it was unfair, especially with the amount of premium tanks they now churn out. You would just be getting preferential matchmaking all the time.
I don't think the problem with matchmaking is losing. I think the problem is when you lose massively. So like, I didn't mind back in the day when I'd lose and it's like I've died and they've got like 1 or 2 tanks left. When you die and then they've still got over 4 or 5 tanks left.
Now that does happen. That does happen. But I've got a screenshot. I've lost the video now, but I think the video's on my YT channel somewhere. I went out in a tier 10 battle, and I was in a 1-2-1B, and the rest of my team scored 0. I was the only one, and I think I did something like 1,800 damage, and the rest of the team did 0 in a tier 10, and they were all tier 10 tanks. And that wasn't recently. That was like 6-7 months ago. So it does happen. And you scratch your head because they weren't tier 10 premiums either. So these were tier 10 tanks that people had actually grinded to. And we scored 0. Well, they did. The 6 zeros. So it does happen. Bizarre. So
I mean, it just takes a few people on the team to think they'll go a different way to everyone else, and it causes an imbalance. I think it's natural. I mean, we complain about it, we see it a lot, but it doesn't take much to create an imbalance in the battle.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. And you know, I've been in teams whereby you only need one absolutely amazing player, and it can change the course of the battle completely.
And then one AFK player will destroy your entire match.
Absolutely, and that's the other thing. Well, you know, one person who's AFK will kill your complete match.
Yeah.
And there's other games where you go 2 tanks up and you think this is easy. You suddenly lose and they've got 5 tanks left. You think, what the heck happened? And people assume everything's okay and they rush in and they start throwing the tanks away and all of a sudden it swings around the other way.
Absolutely. I mean, it's. But sometimes it is what you make it, and you know, Pars has just said, maybe restrict the matchmaking in platoons. I don't think you should. There is nothing stopping anybody, both going out in Drax, both going out in Smashes. There's nothing stopping anybody from doing that. And, you know, people platoon for whatever reason. And I would not want to sit here and say, no, stop it all. You're not allowed to do it anymore. Because I don't think that's fair.
I think there's a lot more imbalanced games in the higher tiers now, though.
Yes.
So you get a lot more 7-0s, 6-1s than you ever used to.
But
that's definitely the last probably the last year, I suppose.
But that's skill level.
A lot more of that.
That's because people are grinding all the way up there quicker than they used to.
But the game's suffering from, I know, go back to 5.5. The game's suffering from 5.5.
Oh, I totally agree.
People that are on 5,000, 6,000 battles, maybe without the best win rate, have just ground up into the higher tiers and haven't got the skills to side scrape, or they don't understand the maps properly, never played a tournament, so they don't understand team play. And that's it, really.
And I agree with that. I agree with that point completely. 5.5 created a bigger imbalance than a lot of other things to this game.
There is an assumption there that we expect those players to learn and know those things, and that's not true either. People can play these things for any of their own
absolutely
advantage. So
absolutely.
And that's sort of like the tutorial in this game being a bit lacking, I think. Like
It's too
What tutorial?
Maddox, hello.
Hey.
tutorial doesn't even
Yeah, the
exist.
tutorial.
What do you
The current
mean?
tutorial of the game is just basically gives you here's a tank, how to shoot, and you're basically you're thrown into a matchmaker, and doesn't teach you anything other than just how to shoot or use your consumables and things.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Wargaming have just released a whole load of training videos for World of Tanks PC.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yes.
And
It's
that
for peace.
and that's one of my bugbears. Not because I'm trying to get in there as a YouTuber,
topic
but
that,
one of my bugbears is we've got lots of people, lots of YouTubers as community contributors or whatever. It doesn't take, and a lot of them do videos on tips and guides and whatever. It would not take much for Wargaming to stick one of those videos in your garage as a mission. Like you've got the mission at the moment for watching 10 shitty game ads or 5 shitty game ads and you get your mission reward. They could do exactly the same thing with do a training mission. They could even take the video and stick it on the World of Tanks Blitz YouTube channel. Why not? So they're not losing revenue because they get the revenue from the ads running on the World of Tanks Blitz channel. And they've got a community contributor for a reason.
I think they should just like improve the not the training, the tutorials, but you have it for each type of tank. But when you actually get to that tank, so when you start the tech with your light, you get the basic tutorial and a tutorial on the skills for your light spotting. And when you get to a heavy, it will teach the ones for a heavy, and so on and so on and so on. You learn each individual skill for each type of tank, but only when you get there at that tip.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I started playing. I downloaded this game as soon as it became available for the iPhone, way back in 2014, and it was only in 2018 that I found my first World of Tanks Blitz YouTube video. That was it.
But the thing is, like, there's like tons of these sort of like, you know, people giving suggestions for how to improve tutorial, and even I asked sort of like the community, the managers of Blitz back then when 5.5 happens. I'm asking them, when are you guys gonna sort of revamp the tutorial? Back then they would say they were working on it.
Yeah.
But like now it's 2020, we still haven't seen anything out of
No,
like a better
not a
tutorial.
thing. Not a thing. And I agree. I agree with you. I mean, they need to do something. You can't expect people to just come in and then play the game. And I know a lot of arguments went around about people are leaving the game for seal clubbing. Maybe, but I think people are leaving the game because they just don't know how to play. I mean, learning how to drive a tank in a straight line around a corner and shoot a tank doesn't tell you how to play the game.
Let's be realistic. Everything that, like most of the time in low tiers, when you start game, first thing you get are a few offers after completing tutorials, a few battles, and that's it.
Well, let's put it a different way. You're a new player. You're a new player now. You don't know anything about this game. You buy your first tank. You go through your tiers, and all of a sudden, boom. Shit, what's this HE ammunition? Well, how do I use it? What's it for?
Yeah, funny thing.
I
It
remember
took
the
me
days.
until
It
tier
does most
8
damage,
when I
but
had
it's good
8,000 battles to learn how HE and camera rating works.
Yeah, but now they've taken it. Now they've taken it away from the low tiers until you get to tier 4, 5. You're not allowed to have it. Then we come to camo. What's camo? You're a new player. What's camo? Well, suddenly I've got camo. What does this do?
Oh, the light bulb.
Not an awful lot as it happens, but anyway. Yeah.
Well, there is that, not an awful lot. But the thing is, the new players are suddenly, they've been told, they've been brought in gently. And yeah, they do. They get to play bots for a while. So it's nice. You can roll up to the bot and just shoot it. But all of a sudden, you get into another new tank at a higher tier where it becomes a little bit harder because the people you're playing against now are a little bit better. And all of a sudden, you've got this brand new funky ammunition called HE that you have no idea how to use or what it does. And nobody will tell you at Wargaming. You've actually got to go onto YouTube and find some YouTuber who's done a video on how to use HE. I mean, it's ridiculous, to be honest.
And that's even the bigger problem. Like, for example, imagine a new game that you start playing. Who here would actually go onto YouTube to search how to play that game explicitly instead of actually trying the game first?
Absolutely. It's
So they would be basically
madness.
failing their way. They'll be failing their way all the way to tier 10 without actually ever thought of, I should search YouTube how to do this or do that.
Absolutely.
Like, and the game doesn't tell you that. You should probably read some guides or something like that. So you just keep failing on,
Yeah.
and nobody's gonna tell you that you should watch this video.
Oh, yeah.
The system does not do this at all,
Let me tell
And
you
that
the
is-
short anecdote. When I started the game, first 2 lines that I did were Russian mediums and Russian heavies, especially KV2, because I was in all the War Thunder and stuff, and I decided planes I don't like plane. And then I started using KV2 and see how people do a lot of damage, and I didn't know that HE existed.
Hmm.
And
Do you think the game is taken more seriously by a group of players than Wargaming ever intended the game to be taken?
I think it does.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
Damn it.
I think it's been more successful than they intended.
Yeah.
Also,
I
don't think it's just about players taking it seriously. I think it became more successful than they initially anticipated.
Yeah.
They've removed crew skills up to tier 5 as well, so they're not
Good
grinding
point.
crew skills.
Good
until
point.
you get to tier 6.
Well,
Tier 7 and 8.
Almost never do that.
Yeah,
Too
exactly.
much grind.
But this is the difference, because obviously they expected World of Tanks on the PC and on the consoles to be a success. So they have ploughed in a lot of money there. And the irony
Yeah,
is,
but when PC came out, it was top of the line. There wasn't anything.
no, this is true.
comparable to it in its class.
But to be honest with you, a lot of what they say in World of Tanks, it also applies to Blitz, like the spotting and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It does apply, but they don't tell you that. They don't say, by the way, we've just released a new video on World of Tanks, which may be useful for Blitz. Go check it out.
Yeah. Like all they do is basically sell you bundles and basically try to milk cash out of you.
Absolutely.
That's all you have.
Absolutely.
Money from
That's
the
really
players,
that's really a very frustrating thing, as like me being, I'm not saying I know everything in the game, but like I definitely know my way in the game. But every time I see players like these, like I really bother. I don't know. Should I really keep playing? Because all these players who are not knowing the game, but they're like being very contributive to the game's development.
Yeah.
They're paying money,
yeah.
Well, there is
like,
a lot of that.
You do not even have 1,000 battles, and here you have tier 10. Epic.
Oh,
Pro
and
gamer.
tier 10 behind
Spend
paywall.
cash.
Oh, I have something like that. A mate of mine started with Christmas 2019, so quite recently. 30 battles, and he bought himself a Chieftain Mark 6.
Well, this is the
Brand new
thing.
to the game.
But this is the thing. I
Never
mean,
played PC or War Thunder, but he had a tier 10.
yeah, but they can do that. But I think, there is. I don't think. I mean, but they should have woken up now. I mean, the game is almost 6 years old. And they should have woken up. That this is for a mobile game. Forget the fact that we've got 50% on PC. For a mobile game, there is a lot of people playing this game, and it's not just the EU server. You've got the Russian server, the KSA server. You've got servers all over the yin yang, and there are a lot of people playing this game. So they must now know it is quite a success, and therefore they should be getting round their community contributors saying, guys, give us your training videos so we can put them on our website.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, for example, putting tier 10s behind paywalls, or decide to not push out a good tutorial just yet, these are all decisions basically made by the higher-ups.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
is
not
true.
that the frontline staff are not, it's not that the frontline staff are not aware of this.
Oh,
or
absolutely.
people are aware of this. It's just that the higher-ups are not willing to make that decision. And it's just sad, because players are sitting here, the frontline staff are sitting there. We all know what the issue is, but nobody's actually have to
Taking
have
action.
them-
Yeah.
Well,
It's
this
a
is-
game of
That's the thing.
contradictions, isn't it? It's aimed at people with a lot of money, with a lot of time to spare. It's also aimed at people who just want a quick dip in and have fun. It's trying to cater to too many groups of people.
and that's a
it-
reality.
Yeah, it is a reality. Yes.
And it doesn't do any one thing well. It's trying to cater to too many audiences and too many demographics at the same time.
But I mean, I can see why they focus more on World of Tanks. I mean, the amount of players that play that is just obscene compared to Blitz. But for a handheld mobile game, Blitz has been very successful. And I'm not telling Wargaming how to run their business. We could never do that. But you would think that they'd like to capitalise on that and get more people in, because it's a money machine for them. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah, they claim that they don't make a massive amount out of it, but they're not going to release those numbers.
Oh, never. Absolutely, they'll never do that. But I mean, it's an interesting chat. I mean, lots of people like this. Lots of people like this game. Lots of people would like to see things done a little bit differently, and it would, in my opinion, it wouldn't hurt wargaming. And as Maddox said, don't everybody think that these are the frontline troops that you see on the world of on Wargaming's Discord or whatever, because it's not. Those guys fully understand. I mean, they really do, and they're not the decision makers, to be fair. But they know, because they themselves are players 9 times out of 10. Virtually all of them are players, and they know the pain that we all suffer. So
I still don't like. I still don't get why don't Wargaming listen to the community. That
no, the ones on the front line do. It's sometimes the higher ups, and it's like anything. I mean, you know, the higher up you go in an organisation, the more removed you are from it. Unfortunately,
every business will have a set of key business objectives. In a gaming community like this, it will be to grow the customer base, to increase the revenue per unit, the ARPU, or I know from the comms industry, but the revenue per customer, retention. It's the same thing for every type of game.
Yeah.
Probably the last. All other things like experience feed into those. So whatever increases retention, whatever increases spend, whatever increases player base, is what Wargaming as a business will do. And if changing the makeup of play or demographic or matchmaking would improve retention, growth, revenue, they'd do it.
Absolutely.
So they would do it.
Absolutely. And with that, we're almost at the hour mark, which is good. So we've covered a couple of subjects there. Thankfully, we didn't once cover missiles. Yay!
You just said it.
Oh, fantastic.
Don't say that.
We didn't deal with them. That was even better than anything else. Some interesting talks there. But like I said, guys, I'm going to do these every week. So for those of you who jumped in on Discord, thank you for taking part. For those of you on YouTube, feel free to jump in, guys. I mean, it's a debate for everybody. You can all get involved. Seriously, it's not they're not mooted on Discord. They can jump in. They can do whatever they like as long as it stays within the rules of what we're discussing. So feel free, if you're on YouTube and you wanted to take part, next time jump in. Thank you for everybody for taking part. I think we had quite a good debate there about seal clubbing, ratings, matchmaking, and in the end, training. All of which I think most people agree with, which is interesting. I mean, because it's very rare that everybody agrees with everything. So another interesting debate. Like I said, we'll be doing these once a week, probably around the same time. Although I'm still waiting for people from other servers, if they want to get involved, to tell me if the time sucks or not. To be honest with you,
I'm still trying to get Martin Dodder on.
No, Martin came on last week. He'll come on eventually.
Yeah, but I mean actually talking.
Oh, he'll come on eventually.
voice him.
He'll come on eventually. But
I mean, I can't blackmail my own crew leader, but I can try.
I did with Stubbo.
Funnily enough, we had the same conversation on the morning of your lead.
Absolutely,
stream.
absolutely. And I mean, look, I know it's just basically a load of people chatting away. But one of the things that I find about this community is, yeah, okay, you can go onto Discord, but you can't really have a conversation on there. And the reason behind this is that, look, as a YouTuber, I do not have all the answers. I'm not one of the best players in Blitz. I'm never going to set Blitz on fire, etc., etc. And you don't want to just hear me forcing my opinion down your throat. You guys are the players. You also have a voice. Use it. Seriously. And with that...
That's the thing. We can't just force our opinions down the throat of Wargaming.
No, but the more you talk, the more they discuss. Seriously, some of the subscribers on my channel are Wargaming staff. I know that. And the more things come out in the open, the more people raise those issues. For example, take the missile tanks. Everybody bemoaning them, they're being nerfed.
Everyone is shouting because of them.
And they're getting nerfed.
Everyone is.
And they're getting nerfed. So these things do happen. But it's not... Don't get me wrong. Just because a particular YouTuber says X doesn't mean to say X is right. You may not
It's
agree.
like people always thought that the thing would get nerfed or buffed just because Bushka said it.
Oh yeah.
No.
What was
If
it?
only it was that
28.2.
Yeah. So you know, we'll take it from there. Thanks everybody for joining. Yet again, I think we had a great discussion. Very reasonable, very sensible, and I enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. So thank you for that. Anything else before we go?
Not specifically. Just don't forget to drink your average cup of tea.
Oh, I don't. So with that, thank you everybody on YouTube and thank you everybody in Discord. Really appreciate it. Talk to you all again pretty soon. Like I said, they'll be once a week, so you know, feel free to join in when you can. So until the next time, bye for now, guys.